One of the things I'm grateful for is that I wasn't born into a family that is very strict with religion. We are Anglicans to be precise, but that doesn't mean that we do not attend other churches. Right from when we were small, we may be curious to attend to see how other churches worship, how they serve God, how their views on humanity, on the universe, on God, on earth, and other people, on sin, on heaven and hell, and a lot of things like that. Even when I moved out or when I lived with other people, I do not stick to going to Anglican churches like other people that I've seen. Like I've met people who, even if they travel to another state or to another country, they prefer to seek out the same church that they've been worshiping all their life and stick with it, whether it's very close to them or it's very far from them. So in the past few years, I've attended a lot of churches. I've attended Catholic, I've attended Deeper Life, I've attended Pentecostal church. I've attended many churches. I can't even remember, but the ones that really stand out to me are Anglican, Catholic, Deeper Life. There are so many things that are very, very different in the ways they worship and they serve God and their views and perspective on so many things. For example, the Anglican church I was born into, girls do not wear trousers to the church. As of 2020 or 2019, I don't remember, before I traveled to another state, girls do not wear trousers to church. Okay, that is not accepted as of that time. Now, when I moved to Lagos the second time, 2023, yes, 2023, when I moved to Lagos, the family I lived with, they went to Catholic church. They were Catholic people, and their church, 2023 Catholic, fully accept girls wearing trousers. I mean, not even trousers. You can wear anything you like to church. You don't see people wearing very short clothes to church. They don't even tie their hair. Like, they don't care. They just want you to come to church. It felt like they really did not care. Seriously. So it was a very big contrast from the church I grew up in and the church and the Catholic church. And growing up, I heard a lot of time that Catholics are very, very strict when it comes to dressing, just like Deeper Life when it comes to dressing or your attitude in church. But what I saw was very, very different from what I heard, because you can wear what you like. You do not have to tie your hair as a woman or as a female. You can wear trousers. You can use your phone in the church. Like, and it is not strictly, you do not have to strictly come to church on Sunday. They have church services from Monday to Sunday. You can come any of the week you like there's so many things that are different from the church I grew up in. Also, while I was still living with them, because they too, while being Catholic, they do not stick to being Catholic. They are not very strictly Catholic. If they get an invitation to church, they go. So while still living with them, we also attended Deeper Life Church a couple of times together with them. Now, Deeper Life, when it comes to Deeper Life, the Deeper Life we went to were very strict with dressing. You do not wear trousers. You do not wear trousers, and you do not wear dresses that are above your knees. And they're also very strict with jewelries and your dressing. Like they are kind of strict with dressing. And you go to church with your Bible. You do not go to church without Bible. Compared to the Catholic church I went to, you can just go to church with the Bible in your phone, or just go to church without anything. While I was living in Oka, the capital city of Anambra State, I attended this particular church. Told you I was really curious. I attended this particular. I don't know if it's a church or just a service or kind of a congregation or a meeting or something. But I attended this church, like let's call it church, that has their services on Saturday only. Only on Saturdays, not Sundays, just Saturdays. It's kind of like Sabbath, but we don't wear those white, long white robes. And we don't go to church we don't walk barefoot to church like the Sabbath that is in my hometown. I remember their dress code was white. You can wear white shirt and white trouser, or white shirt and white skirt, white or white dress. I think it was white, but it wasn't those long white robes. And we, of course, we wear shoes till we get to the entrance of the church, then we remove it and walk barefoot inside. This was 2021. I don't actually remember, but my landlord, who was then living with us in the big compound, they had their own house, invited me, and I went there a couple of times before I moved out. So when it comes to religion, or I say just when it comes to churches, I do not discriminate. I'm very curious. I'd like to know. I like to know, how does this church works? What is their view on humanity? What is their view on how on earth, politics, daily life, churches, the Bible, life in general, heaven and hell? So I like to get to know how they think, because of course there are things you could learn from them, or maybe not. They can change the view of your life. I just love exploring. No, no, that's the right word, but I love exploring and getting to know more about people, because our religious life contributes a lot to how we think and how we see the world. And sometimes, before I do research on Google, on the internet, on other religion, Hinduism, Taoist, Buddhism, like those ones and I read the articles. I read articles on them, and I find them really interesting. On one of my research days, I discovered omnism. I hope that's how it's pronounced. And I love the Google definition of omnism, because wait a minute, let me get it for you. I wrote it down. Omnism is the belief that all religions contain some truth, and that no single religion holds a monopoly on truth. It is a perspective. Emphasis on the word perspective. It is not a religion. It is a belief and a perspective, not a religion. It is a perspective that recognizes the value and the validity of diverse religious, philosophical and spiritual paths. Omnis generally believe that different religions, despite their diverse expressions, ultimately points towards a shared source or ultimate reality. I love the definition. I loved not having to stick to one particular religious path or belief. I love freedom in every sense. I love freedom to wear what I want to wear. I love freedom to be who I want to be. I love the freedom to go to any church that I want to go. I love the freedom to explore other religions. I love the freedom to travel to any country, immerse myself in their culture, and I love that I'm born into a family that is not very strict with religion too, because that kind of shaped who I am. So with all my explorations and attending different churches, finding out how they think and everything, and also being curious about other religions, their gods, and the way they think, the way they worship, one thing I'm sure of is that I believe in God, I believe in the existence of God, and nothing will change that. See you in my next video.